Marcus,
Control, this is Delta. No
what do you think?
What do I think? It could be Alpha, or it could be the Locust setting a trap. There's only one way to know for sure.
Our next target is House of Sovereigns. Straight ahead. Move!
We spent the past 2 days playing Gears of War.
A lot of Gears of War.
Lots.
Like it went from no Gears of War to as much Gears of War as you want.
I don't think I've seen the light since we got out into the room, because I've basically been playing, sucked into that game for all day yesterday and then all day this morning. It's been pretty good.
Played single player, which, you know, I would say early impressions are pretty darn good. Like any fears we had of the levels being the same, all looking the same and being boring, are kind of have been alleviated now, I feel like.
Yeah, well, one of the big concerns was the color palette, and if it's all just going to be sort of like a rusted, burnt out, destroyed post-apocalyptic world, and it's definitely wasn't. It's not the case.
No, there's
a ton of stuff.
There's a couple levels that they haven't really shown much of that. I don't even want to spoil them because they're really worth first time when you play the game, you're going to see them, you're going to be like, oh, that's pretty damn cool. So it's it's very different from what you've seen in a lot of screenshots and, from footage and stuff, and so it looks really awesome.
Fire in the hole!
The graphics, people are like, oh, graphics don't make games, but man, it sure makes this one pretty damn cool.
Throwing frag!
Nice throw!
It's an action game, okay? And you rarely go around the environments and kind of look around when you're playing an action game. I totally have caught myself just kind of going around areas that normally you wouldn't hang out in.
Well, the game lets you have time to do that too.
Yeah.
Though. There are these great sort of open theaters of war, and you'll clear this theater, and you'll have all this time. Then after that, it's not necessarily rushing from encounter to encounter to encounter. There's a lot of downtime throughout the game, and it's there's a lot of pacing. Like we talked about yesterday, the biggest concern, and this extends to multiplayer too, is really how much fun can stop and pop be? How long can you stop and pop?
Is it stop and pop or stop and flop?
Exactly.
Which one is it?
It's stop and pop.
Stop and pop, yeah. And I think it has to do with the environments. I think the way they're designed, I almost call it they're every area is like a chessboard, and you have your crew, and then you have the enemy, whether it's multiplayer or not, and you're just kind of strategizing. It's
Even though the A button controls all of your movements, it's complex because there are a lot of different ways to use it. You can hold down A to do the roadie run. Once you get into cover, if you press left, you'll either roll off to the left if there's nothing there, or do a SWAT turn over to another piece of cover. So the controls, once you get them down, they give you a ton of options that you can use in the middle of combat. And even though it's kind of a little janky when you get up, when two characters kind of are right up close next to each other, usually if you pull out a shotgun, you can, clean up any of the messes.
The shooting and the cover system and all functions really well. And like I said in a preview, it does take some getting used to. It took probably a good hour of playing the game just constantly to get used to at this distance I'm going to stick to cover. And I was talking, and Cliffy said today, if you roll into cover and you don't stick, if you hold A down, it'll redetect and it'll just stick you.
Yeah.
So if you so you don't keep
it's
rolling into
something.
something.
That's what makes a good game a great game. Is that yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it right, and you keep getting better and better at it, and that's by by the time the end of the game rolls around, you feel like that character.
A problem, but also helps in the up-close encounters, is that I found while playing multiplayer that pretty much all of the up-close encounters, whether you like it or not, unless there's some sweet shotgun move that some guy pulls off, and with the chainsaw. So it really does pay to have that one weapon that has the chainsaw on it out. Because, like, if someone, you're either going for the chainsaw or the guy you're running up against is going to pull it out on you and try to use it. The nice thing that, you slowly figure out is, like, hey, if I shoot that guy before he comes up to me, he can't use his chainsaw. There's, like, you hold down a button to rev it up, and you can stop someone from using it by shooting them, and then, they're basically unable to use it for the next, like, 3 or 4 seconds.
I think one thing we keep forgetting to talk about is active reload. Like, just reloading your weapon. Like, it sounds like, I can't believe I'm making a big deal out of basically reloading your weapon, but it's like kind of this mini game where if you hit it at that sweet spot, like kind of gives you like extra power in those next couple shots.
And a faster reload.
Reload, and like it's weird. Like, I never thought they could make reloading your weapon fun, and like I seriously have sat there and like shot a bunch of rounds and then tried to time it back, just like see how many times I get in a row. And
the thing is, I thought that active reload was going to be really sort of like a janky.
Yeah,
like, I didn't really care. And after after seeing it at work in single player and seeing it at work in multiplayer, it's something where if someone's really good at it, they are going to be able to turn the tide in all kinds of situations, in both single and multi.
Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome to be able to like hit your active reload and just mow down like a dude in a half or something like that.
I started to get to the point after I played for a good long while where I had the timing down and I could do it without looking at the little bar. And at that point, it felt really good when I was just like clack, clack. And I knew that I was going to get the active reload. And tapping the buttons, there's like a good rhythm to the action. And I think that's why the combat feels so fun and why, though it's not, like, if the whole game was stop and pop, it might still be fun all the way through.
Once you get into that rhythm, your character will start to look like it looks when like Cliff's playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like your character starts to look really cool. He's like moving through cover the right way. He's he's blind firing the right way. Everything's sort of coming together in your character, and you're creating the cinematic experience of the roadie run, which is totally just it's just for like shits and giggles and tricks, but like once all that comes together, like you are actually sort of playing this very cinematic, you're playing a role in this very cinematic experience by the way that you're navigating through the space, once you get it right.
Shit!
And with multiplayer, that's what we've seen all afternoon, is like, as you've seen these, like our group of like, it's all Ziff guys all playing on the same team all afternoon, and there's a lot of depth actually to 4-on-4, and we were saying, I don't think you need more than 4 people.
No, like I called it like the thinking man shooter, but like not as much as like a Ghost Recon where you really have to be like every move counts. It's kind of like that middle ground between like a Halo and Ghost Recon. I didn't feel repetitive to me. Like, it just, like, that's one thing I was concerned about going to single player after playing some demos. Like, is that stop and pop going to be, stop and plop? And it never felt like repetitive. I think it had a lot to do with the environments. And
the fact that the basic gameplay that, like the Halo guy says, 30 seconds of gameplay, that you have to get right, are right in this game. And because that works, like, the rest of the game is pretty fun. And I think, I think it's far and away, even though we haven't really finished it all yet, we haven't put enough time to like call it a review, I would say easily it's the most polished game that Epic has ever put out. And, I hope that it does well for them, I guess, because it's kind of good.
It's kind of good.
It's kind of good.
It's kind of good.
it's a good game tape. You might want to solve it.
Now I'm pissed! Incoming